In this video, I'll go through the few arena games that I played at rank 3 at that time in 2v2 at around 2500 rating. These are the highest rated arenas that I have recorded on a video, and I've played as Unholy Death Knight with Retribution Paladin featuring Unxords, and this was in 2018 in full Ruthless gear on Ruthless season. A subtlety rogue and marksmanship hunter, one of the strongest comps in the game, especially on Cataclysmic season with the PvE trinkets on rogue. This comp is pretty much unstoppable, an easy rank 1 for anyone playing it. So we play it safe. Usually playing this comp we just rush in, but in this occasion we don't because we have time. They still have their 1 minute buff from the wolf right here. The hunters usually don't refresh these buffs from the other pets, they just use monkeys for the rest of the arena. I know that they might kill me on the opener, so I go into blood presence for additional defense, and we are behind line of sight to make it a little more difficult for the hunter to shoot. For hunter it would be ideal if we were somewhere on the opener here so that he can easily do his PvE rotation and all the CC and everything, but this way we can line of sight and prevent him from doing some crowd control chains and stuff like that, forcing him to move around the pillar too. Another thing, we are on top of each other. That means if the rogue is close enough and he tries to sap one of us, the other one might see him in stealth and use ability like Holy Wrath for Paladin to AoE the rogue out of stealth, or I might use my Blood Boil or Death and Decay and get rogue out of stealth and disrupt their opener, which their opener is one of the most important things in the entire game, for rogue especially. Another reason why we're standing on top of each other is that in case they open on me, my partner can instantly bop me, use his Hand of Protection, and disrupt their opener that way. That means as soon as they open on me, the rogue uses Cheap Shot. In that instant, Paladin uses Hand of Protection on me. Even though it might take the hunter only 1 or 2 globals to get rid of the Hand of Protection, it will still give me 1 to 3 seconds on average of immunity against their damage, which is a big deal. And here we're ready to go into fight because hunter is close enough. So what Paladin does, he Hand of Sacrificed me so that in case they attack me, this sap or blind or any crowd control on my Paladin goes down as soon as they damage me. I go out, I use Death and Decay in case there's rogue somewhere around here, but I know he's not because he just sapped my partner over here. And also in case hunter would use camouflage so that I can hit him. Here the hunter only uses scatter shot, no other control on me, which was a little bit of a mistake on their part. My Paladin was already able to move away from the line of sight from the hunter. That was very smart. So the hunter has to spend a few extra seconds getting around the pillar to be able to hit him, while the Cheap Shot is already up and the rogue's attacking my Paladin. Now what my Paladin did, he instantly trinketed the Cheap Shot because he knows the opener is where a lot of damage is dealt to us. Here you can see I already received a little bit of damage here. As I'm sacrificed here by Paladin, the sap on him breaks instantly because of the damage I received. That means Paladin is able to move away from the line of sight of hunter, while rogue didn't expect the sap to break, so he opens up here, which is a really terrible positioning for the hunter. Here you can see the Paladin instantly trinkets the Cheap Shot and repentances the rogue, which just used all of his burst, his Shadow Dance and trinket here you can see. So now he's line of sighting the hunter, and he's got rogue CC'd during his burst. This scatter shot is almost over on me, so I'm able to attack very soon. Now what I could have done here Towards the end of Repentance, I could have used my dots to prevent Rogue from stealthing, forcing him to use his Cloak of Shadows. So there's really a lot of stuff happening in just like 3 seconds on the opener. You cannot slack off, you cannot let your opponents have the upper hand. You have to react very quickly and have it all planned out in advance. And here you can also notice what I did is I also used pet stun on the hunter here. So that's a 3-second stun on the hunter to prevent him from moving over here and attacking my partner in full cheap shot and kidney shot in case he decided not to trinket it. So we were really not wasting any of our time and using all of our abilities and cooldowns because the opener is very key. Hunter instantly trinketed, so we already forced him to use one of his main cooldowns. And since Hunter has no trinket at this point, my partner is able to hodge him for a half duration Hammer of Justice, and I'm able to apply my dots, build up the runic power for my burst, and we already have the upper hand over them. While my partner is stacking his Guardian up, his holy powers so that he's able to burst early, not only for the damage but also for the increased healing and bigger sacred shield, which is a very important ability in this arena. So here we're already bursting. My partner uses wings since he's got this 3-second Hammer of Justice on Hunter. Hunter uses Monkey Stun, tries to crowd control me. The Rogue opens up on my Paladin again. And you can see the Paladin is backing up so that he can line of sight the Hunter. Of course he's got those 70% slow, so he's really slow right now. I'm slowing down the Rogue to make it easier for my partner to kite away. My partner uses Hand of Freedom. We really play this safe and defensive. I'm still in my Blood Presence in case they try to swap on me. Only now I get to pop my Gargoyle finally. And already we've done so much damage to both of them. You can see my Paladin now goes into bubble. He uses his Hammer of Wrath on the Hunter here. And we're ready to finish him off. Of course, as I'm about to use my Death Grip, I tell my partner that I'm gripping the Hunter so that he's ready to move around here and not go over there where Hunter's standing at right now. Unfortunately, the animations on Twinstar's Apollo, or back then Artemis I think it still was, the animations are bugged, so you only see the Death Grip go off and the Hunter just appears instantly in front of you, so you don't really see the transition. And Hunter uses second Deterrence, desperately tries to Monkey Stun me, but even the Monkey Stun didn't last the entire duration because I have my Unholy Frenzy on me, which breaks all CCs that break if I receive damage. And after the Deterrence, there's no way Hunter would survive that. Now this is still not over yet. My Paladin has literally nothing. He just procced his Sacred Shield here, but he's on really low HP. And Rogue could potentially still kill him, and a good Rogue should be able to 1v1 a good Unholy DK easily. Rogues are the biggest counter on Unholy DKs along with Ferals. So what I do here, I Chains of Ice, I use the Desecration slow everywhere to make sure my Paladin is free to go and is safe. And the Rogue decides to leave because we're too good. Again, the same team but a slightly worse arena for us since we don't really have a legit line of sight here to line of sight the hunter. So we decide to go all in. Same as the hunter, he decides to go right at us. He's not wasting any of his time. And I know that their tactic will be to CC me or attack me. That's why at the beginning, in case they CC me, I use anti-magic shell to prevent traps. In case they attack me, I use anti-magic shell to prevent some of the hunter's damage and also prevent rogue from applying poisons on me. So here I go. As soon as I jump into the fight, I use the AMS, and that was a correct call because he uses scatter shot, after which he would want to trap me. And I also use my Unholy Frenzy to damage myself a little bit over the time of the buff, and so that the opponents are not able to blind me or trap me because the Unholy Frenzy would get rid of that CC. And they open on my partner right here. Our tactic is to kill the hunter. Since he's really close, I don't have to death grip. The hunter uses his freezing trap right here. I don't know why he placed it here. That was a big mistake on his part. And he uses disengage. As soon as he disengages, I use my death grip. That's pretty much automatic. When you see a hunter disengage, you can automatically death grip him because he has no longer a cooldown to quickly get away from you. He might use his snake trap or something like that to root you or slow you, but it takes a while for the trap to actually activate and slow you down. My partner gets attacked here with the cheap shot, and again the same as the last arena, he gets cheap shotted, he trinkets instantly, he wastes no second. He trinkets it, and he uses his repentance on rogue again as the rogue uses his burst. This was another mistake on the rogue's part. Since the rogue has seen this tactic already in the previous arena, what the rogue should have done is he should have used his Cloak of Shadows to prevent the repentance. So you can see the rogue is bursting here with his DPS trinket. We got him in full repentance. The hunter is also bursting with his rapid fire here, but we made him use his disengage so I can death grip him right here over to us. To which he is forced to deterrence. Trinket, cheap shot, repentance. Attack the hunter. Here the rogue uses trinket on this repentance and disarms my paladin. Now the rogue vanished during the hunter's deterrence, so that we don't switch on the rogue. That was correct call because we would have switched on him. And he opens up again with Garrote, which is not yet on diminishing returns, and also uses combat readiness in case we want to switch on him. My paladin bubbles here because he's getting really low, but hunter is getting really low too. He's forced to use his second deterrence, disengage again, but he didn't disengage too far, and we were able to easily finish him off. So honestly, there weren't too many things we could have done better in these two games. There have been a number of things the hunter and the rogue could have done better, but again, we disrupted their gameplay and their tactics many times, so I can imagine they were pretty nervous and frustrated by us really disrupting their crowd control with very well timed AMS, Unholy Frenzy, Sacrifice, trinketing instantly, not wasting a single second, and crowd controlling the enemy team. Even though we have way less crowd control than the rogue and hunter do, we used it to our advantage, and we used it at the times that it counts. So that was just a little showcase of how a rank 1 Unholy Death Knight Retribution Paladin think in the arena. Of course, these tactics took years and years for us to develop. Over the time we would fight many hunter and rogue teams, so we always try to learn and adapt to their playstyle. Of course, we were expecting in the second arena the rogue to Cloak of Shadows. That's why my partner waited like a second or two after he trinketed the cheap shot, because he was expecting the rogue to instantly Cloak of Shadows to prevent Repentance or Hammer of Justice. But he didn't, so my partner was able to Repentance him. But all of this just comes with practice and knowing your opponents, because not every Rogue Hunter team plays the comp the same way. These were fairly high rated players. Even though they've made a couple of mistakes, they were still good players to play against and to show you our tactics. And honestly, had it been on Cataclysmic season, they might have beat us on damage alone. That's how crazy busted rogues are on Cataclysmic.